Hey everyone, welcome back to another, in this case, market open, but 3 minutes after market open. And unfortunately, that's what happens when the computer crashes right before you want to go live. Everything takes way longer. Oh well, we are live, so let's rewind the last 3 minutes. Ding, 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 ding. Okay. So we did miss the opening bell, but we are 3 minutes into the trading day. So let's take a peek at what's going on in the market right now and try to figure out what's winning and what's losing. All right, so let's pull it up. So we've got AMC is down 3%. That's our biggest loser. No, that can't be. Let's see here. There we go. Okay. I was on the wrong tab. There we go. So under all stocks, we've got ZOM is down 10%. We've seen ZOM consistently down for the last few days here. This is we've seen sort of or almost expected a little bit of this rotation out of momentum stocks. Oftentimes, obviously, called by the mainstream media meme stocks. Seen a little bit of that rotation out. We're now down about 10.5% on ZOM. SOS down 6%, Sundial 2.8%. But we're also seeing the Chargers down again, which is so interesting that we're seeing the Chargers down again here, about 2.5%. Arcimoto down about 2% as well. The electric vehicle, fun utility vehicle company. GoPro's down a little bit. Let's see. Arcturus is down about 1.2%. So of the reds here, we've really got ZOM and SOS and Sundial and AMC and Blink. These are naked. These are our guys that are red today. That's actually not that bad. So we got these 5 reds here, and then all these other ones that are red are down about 1.5 to 0.5%, including Tesla. Tesla's down about 0.5%. So we've actually now deviated here, and we'll see how the day ends, but we've deviated from that awesome W, and now we're kind of widening the W a little bit. At least we're still seeing the W, but it's not as sharp as we were hoping, but that's okay. It's still averaging in that up direction. But then again, we are down about 0.5% today on Tesla, for example. Quite a few things down about 0.5% here, 0.5% to 1%. Qualcomm, Matterport, Neo, Rocket, Palantir, C3AI. I mean, lots of things. Shift down 1.5%. Tattoo Chef is down. Intel, you name it. Okay, so and then in terms of, if we jump on over, in terms of risers right now, we have Faraday Solutions up 7.3%. Good move today. Marcus Corp is up 3%. And then everything else is right around 2-ish%, 1 to 2%. Enphase is up 3% today. Pinterest is up twice, 2 days in a row here. This is interesting because we kind of had a flip-flop, it seems like, between most stocks. Yesterday, Tesla was up. Today, it's down. Yesterday, Enphase was down. Today, it's up. Pinterest has actually been up both days. Pinterest is up almost at $82. Airbnb, 3%. Pinterest is a really good one to look. Anytime you see this one get to $70, you gotta pick that one up because it always seems to rubber band back to over 80. Now Etsy always rubber bands back to over 200. Like these rubber band points for some of these stocks are so strong, you could actually almost trade between these because the associations with some of these and a certain stock price is so common, or they've been sitting there for so long. You in some cases may as well. Let's see. Spirit Airlines 1.5%. Restoration Hardware 1.5%. Macy's 1.6%. Lemonade 1.75%. Macy's up. So interesting, kind of like a mix between recovery and stay-at-home kind of stocks doing decently here. See, look, you've got Upwork up along with Wells Fargo, Chipotle, Beyond Meat. You've got an interesting mix. There's no clear cut. I mean, here's Peloton that's up 1/3, and Apple's up, and American Airlines up. No clear cut sort of, oh yeah, it's only the tech that's doing well today, or it's only recovery that's doing well. In fact, it's almost kind of like, and this is going to happen at some point in the future, there's not going to be this, recovery stocks are up today, or recovery stocks are down today anymore. Recovery stocks won't exist anymore. It'll just be like recovery stocks will just blend in. with all other stocks. And then you have your high multiples and your low multiples again. But we'll see as prices keep going up and earnings come back on the airlines and the hotels and the retail. The recovery trade is going to be gone. It's kind of weird to think about because it's just been a year, over a year now. April 6th. We had our second bottom on April 3rd. So it's been just over a year since the second bottom. And I mean, we've been talking about nothing other than really for the last year. It's kind of crazy how time flies. All right, let's listen in, see what Jim's thinking today.
Some people are very convivial and they have something to do, and then they haven't had anything to do in a long time. Carl, there's people who have been so cooped up. I just think it's going to be remarkable what's going. But that's been my Roaring 20s thesis.
Yeah, we're gonna see, Jim, whether households have so much money that they don't need to choose between spending more on their homes and themselves and experiences like going out and travel. I do want to get you on oil briefly here. We got a lot of the oil companies leading the charge in what is a pretty tepid tape, but Goldman does cut CVX to neutral. They talk about it being an outperformer against its peers since 2016, and there's better upside elsewhere, they argue.
Look, CVX, I got to tell you, I think that Chevron is the best in the group. I understand that they like Exxon more. What I think is,
I just want to mention something that I've noticed about price targets and all these companies coming out with price targets. It always seems that for whatever reason, when a company is doing well, like let's say Apple's doing well or Tesla's doing well, or I don't know, an airline's doing well or whatever, when the stock's doing well, the stock price is going up, all of the banks and everything, they come out and go, yeah, we're raising our price target. When the stock's doing poorly, oh, we're reducing our price target. It's like they literally just follow the market. It's annoying.
I don't think so, but that's what people are worried about.
Interesting. Well, Jim, as you know, we're going to get an opportunity to talk more about a lot of different things involving oil and gas, and as well carbon capture and sequestration, because we are going to be joined by Darren Woods, the CEO of ExxonMobil, tomorrow right here on the program, guys. Looking forward to that.
And by the way, it looks like, at least right now, the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the S&P 500 are all red. Let me verify that. Yep, all red by about 0.09 to 0.2%. So technically, the indices are all red today. We've seen pretty almost even mix, though, when we look at the sticks. Let's keep listening.
I have.
Because I crossed the border and that's it. I can't come back. We can never come back.
Whoa, CNBC now talking about the border?
Rules by saying that speaking truth that I didn't know Darren was on. It's fantastic. I like great job, David.
Well, I'll call you later, David. I'll call you later. I know. I'll call you later. We'll discuss it now that they all know that.
It's a live example of what gets lost, guys. What gets lost when we're not sort of in the hallway together chatting at our desks.
Nope. Diamond Hands Faber's got a good one.
Let's get to Bob Basadi on this Tuesday. Hey, Bob.
Good morning, guys. And we will all be back at the New York Stock Exchange, I am quite sure, at one time. And I look forward to that as well. Flattish open, but don't kid yourself. This is a very powerful rally that we're in the middle of.
What?
Flattish, I mean, yeah, you got a little movement from energy.
I don't know about that. I can't call this very powerful rally.
Tech, the stuff that you look for to move the market kind of on the flat side. But when I say this is a powerful rally, I mean, like, what are we doing? Are we buying travel and entertainment stocks because we're going to all go out in the second half of the year? Or are we buying stay-at-home stocks? And the answer is we're buying a little bit of everything, and that's why the rally is so powerful. So look at these stay-at-home stocks. I know they're not supposed to be popular anymore, but, you know, yesterday there it was, Home Depot and Lowe's and Target at new highs and Sherwin-Williams at new highs and Masco at a new high.
He's got a good point, with the exception of certain tech.
Money to buy things for their home and are continuing to intend to do that. And a lot of the big technology names, the growth sectors. So we had value at a new high yesterday.
Not Tesla.
At new highs yesterday. So we saw Microsoft and Alphabet and Facebook at a new high. Texas Instruments put up some of the tech names there at new highs yesterday, and many of the chip stocks, Slam Research, constantly at new highs. Again, the beneficiaries of stay at home, but these have been market leaders for a long, long time. At the same time, most of the travel and leisure are not new highs, but they're awfully close. At the close yesterday, most of the big names that we saw were 1 to 5% from new highs, including Delta, including Marriott.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, especially recovery stocks since November, they've kind of almost gone relatively straight up and to the right. But just recently, we've seen kind of this temporary sell-off in some of the recovery names. He's not wrong about that. Let's go ahead and jump briefly over to the terminal, just see what the top news is today. So let's see what the top news is. All right. So we've got a lot of talk about Credit Suisse and a $4.7 billion loss that they suffered, essentially, that now they're quantifying it from the whole Archegos mess. That's a lot of money. Jeez. For a private company, when you compare it to like the stimulus package, it's nothing. You wouldn't even notice the difference. $4.7 billion is like a rounding error in the multi-trillion-dollar stimulus packages. There we go. Finally got this back. Yeah, when the computer crashes, unfortunately, everything takes a little longer. That's kind of annoying. There we go. I can actually see what I need to see better. Well, whatever. Oh, darn. Oh, I hate that so much. Please just show me what I need to see. Yeah, it's all a little messed up this morning, but that's all right. It's Tuesday. We'll take it. We'll take a little bit of a setback. All right, stocks edge lower after a rally to record oil gains. Hedge funds see something in reflation trade they don't like. Ooh, that sounds like a juicy title. Let's take a look at this here. All right, so what is this? While wagering on economic rebound has been the stock market's biggest bet since the November presidential election, one group of investors has hung onto its chip. Despite a rally of at least 40% in energy and financial shares over 5 months, hedge funds, on average, have steadfastly shunned the reflation trade, favoring instead companies as resilient during an economic slowdown. Their exposure to cyclical sits at the lowest. That's interesting. They're saying, so hedge funds are not exposing themselves as much to either the industrials or recovery stocks as we might think. Let's see. Or here, see, they even mention here. Okay, let's scroll down a little more. Hedge funds exposure to, okay, in this case, they're just charging a hedge fund cyclical versus defensive positioning. Cyclicals are going to be energy, industrials, material, tech, versus defensives like healthcare and consumer staples. So hedge fund cyclical positions remaining low. So that's interesting. Okay, more. So in other words, of the two, more money at hedge funds in 2020, and this is all of 2020 here. Yeah, this is since 2011. You've kind of seen this regular decline into more things like consumer staples and healthcare than into tech. So this is not like recovery versus tech. Although sometimes what you hear people say is they'll say, oh, recovery stocks are cyclical, industrial stocks are cyclical. But in this case, what they're saying is hedge funds in general are investing less in tech, industrials, recovery, energy, and all that combined, and more into healthcare and consumer staples. That's interesting. All right. I don't know what to. No, I don't have to think about that. I don't know what to make of that pattern. How do I feel about that? Ken Griffin's Citadel feels the heat of Spotlight. U.S. exceptionalism gives the dollar upgrade. But let's look at I want to look at the 10-year too really quick. Let's see. 10-year. See what we got going on here. 10-year line chart. Let's see how we've been doing. 1.68. You know, this is interesting. We've actually seen, really this sort of deflating a little bit in these yields. And this is kind of what Goldman was talking about yesterday. Goldman Sachs yesterday was talking about, hey, we might see The fact that, hey, we've priced in higher rates now. In other words, we don't need to keep pricing in higher interest rates. And really over the last 2 days, now we're kind of, and even starting last week, we hit some highs, and now we're kind of coming back down again on the yields for bonds, which technically it should be good again for the stock market. And overall, we have been trending up again over the last certainly few days here. Let's see. Fed's focused on. Yep. This is a thing that I regularly talk about right here, just looking at the headline. See here, Fed's focus on black unemployment has Wall Street forecasting it. So beyond us exploring what the forecast might be, it's just important to know that, yeah, the Fed is focused on not raising rates until all racial groups have low unemployment. So even though that top line unemployment rate might fall, you're going to be wanting to wait for all unemployment rates to go down. This is something I talked about in a video I made recently. I think if you type into YouTube, Meet Kevin, jobs data, and will the Fed raise rates faster? New jobs data, will the Feds raise rates faster? It's a good one. I kind of go into what the Fed's looking for, the 3 big things the Fed's looking for. So if you haven't seen that one yet, new jobs data, will the Fed raise rates faster? Check that one out. All right, so what else here? Let's see. Biden tax plan seen hitting technology, pharmaceutical companies. Right. Well, higher taxes. Yep. Let's see. Day of 4 million vaccines signals sharp turnaround for the U.S. And another big thing we're seeing is the United States potentially recovering faster than the rest of the world. All right. Let's see. Let's go back to the sticks here for a moment. So Faraday Solutions really running here. Look at this run. So 12% today. Really, really nice run that we've had here. And gosh, 12%. I mean, we jumped up from 7% when we last looked at it here to now being up over 12%. Oh, there we go. All right. So somebody's saying, Kathy, I see this comment here. Kathy Wood sold Tesla. Yeah, I mean, you got to keep in mind how an actively managed index fund works, right? Anytime a stock goes up like 5 or 6%, and it's a large holding already in your exchange traded fund, you usually have to sell to balance out and make sure you have the rest. So, you got to be careful with the oh no, Kathy Wood bought, Kathy Wood sold. A lot of it is automatic, and some of it is obviously a decision that they drive. They're an active ETF, so I'm sure they verify all of the decisions that get made every day and then make modifications. But yeah, you don't want to read too much into signals about, oh, Kathy sold this or bought this. Anyway, let's see here. Express. See, this is a momentum stock, and it's up 6% today. So not really following that rule of momentum stocks going down this week. Although the last couple days have definitely been hit a little hard over at stocks again, like Zom's gotten hit a little bit here. Express up 6%, Roku up 5.2%, Enphase up 4.6%. The sell-off at Enphase was crazy. Getting it under 150 is just nice, juicy. What else do we have? Voyager Digital. Wow, we're almost at $30 here. Almost at all-time highs at Voyager Digital. Somebody mentioned that Voyager Digital, I saw a comment, reported some user growth metrics. So let's see if we can pull that. Voyager Digital March. Yep, here's a PR newswire provided by Voyager. So it's kind of like them releasing their own news. Always remember that when you're looking at these wire services. April 6th, Voyager Digital, a publicly traded company, blah, blah. The company has the following metrics as of March. Assets under management exceed $2.4 billion. Oh, here, look at this. And then these are the user account numbers. In net deposits in March. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So if you haven't checked it out yet, Voyager is a cryptocurrency depositing app where you can deposit money, deposit cryptocurrency. You can get paid interest on, I think it's like over 21 different currencies and stable coins. So if you want to make interest on your deposits, you can. Personally, I'm still trying to wrap my head around how the whole lending works, how cryptocurrency companies are making all of their money and interest. Though I've been talking to BlockFi and Voyager, and they're all pretty optimistic about how they earn interest in a safe way to be able to pay interest. Anywho, they have their net deposits for March up about that's over 50% from February. That's incredible. New accounts funded 95,000. This is pretty incredible growth here. New verified users 395,000. Wow. That's actually up from both February and January. And principal value traded 2.5 billion versus 1.6 and 840. Now, this number will go up as cryptocurrency prices go up. But really what you're looking for is verified users and funded accounts growth. I mean, this is incredible. Voyager was another record-setting month for Voyager. Wow. Yeah, that's incredible. They're hiring like crazy right now, too. Steve's really cool, too. He's been on the channel twice. So good job, Voyager. Okay, so Faraday now slipping a little bit again. Property Solutions Acquisitions Corp. We've got let's see, Enphase getting back to that 160 here. Twitter 66. Affirm. Oh, Affirm is back up again, eh? Yeah, look at that, bobbing along the bottom though. I mean, really, you're bobbing along the bottom at Affirm. Yikes. It deserves some green. Okay, looks like Etsy here. See, look at Etsy. I mean, just everything has been around 200 since, let's see. Since January. Okay, that's fair. So since January, it's just been a bob up and around 200, that rubber band of 200. All right, let's see. We've got Wayfair up again, 3%. Norwegian Cruise Lines is up. Delta, Spirit, Lemonade. I have noticed Lemonade sometimes trades with the recovery stocks. Sometimes. It seems to sell off with tech, but then trades with the recovery on a day's tech isn't selling off. It's kind of weird why Lemonade Insurance would. But I don't know. I see them with the airlines a lot. USO up 2.6%. Let's see. What else? Lots of 1%. I almost feel like some things have turned more green here. This could be good. The Dow's now about flat. The Dow was down more, so that would support that thesis. NGA down at about 0.25% here. Clover's down after some price movements yesterday. Canoe up 0.6%. I'm sorry, down 0.6%, not up. So down again to 842 here. Tesla's down almost 1% at Tesla. 686 here. Gevo, GTech, C3AI, GameStop, Ubiquity bobbing around that 290s range. Shift, Rocket. Oh yeah, interesting. And then look, SOS has traded spots with ZOM. SOS is now down 11%. ZOM only down 4.8%. Really recovering here from its pre-market sell-off. Interesting dynamic that we've really got today. Hard to sort of paint this as one thing versus another. All right, let's see what else is going here. Let's see here. Somebody says BlockFi has reduced its interest paid on Bitcoin, while Voyager is offering great rates. Oh, well, we must like Voyager. I support Voyager, though. In fact, you could go to metkevin.com/Voyager. 1E, make your life easier. 1E, metkevin.com/Voyager. And you can get $25 when you open an account at Voyager. All right, let's see what else we've got here. So let's see. Sometimes we've got a good interview over at Fox, although most of the time we talk about the border. No, okay. No new. Okay, Fox is not up. Fine. We've got. Okay, Fox is on commercial. Fox Business. CNBC is on commercial. Okay, we will try Bloomberg TV. Somebody's got to have an interview today. All right, let's go ahead and pull Bloomberg TV up. Let's see what they got. All right, we'll give that a second. Okay, let's see. So, by the way, today I'm going to be talking a little bit more about MP Materials towards. Oh, they're on commercial too. Great. So later today, and stay tuned for it, but probably right after we close, we might be, knock on wood, talking to the CEO of MP Materials, which I think will be really cool. And they did smash earnings, but the stock has sold off a little bit since the earnings call. So let's take a look at the past days here. There we go. Had a little bit of that volatility after solid earnings. A little bit of that downtrend here. Of course, if we zoom out enough, we're up substantially from where this was in even November. Take a look at this, back at $10 in November. But excuse me, a lot of those heights that we've seen here in February evaporated, at least for the time being. But then again, heights for almost all stocks have evaporated over the past. Coming up here now on a month and a half, almost 2 months. In about 10 days, we'll be able to say it's been 2 months since we've hit highs at a lot of companies, whether they're recovery, energy, you name it. Oh, Romeo's back up after a big sell-off here. Romeo up 12-13% today. It's got to be recent. Let's see here. Yeah. Look at that. All of a sudden here, taking off within the last 13 minutes, it looks like. End phase. Just a straight line kind of here. Straight line up and to the right for end phase today. Etsy's kind of doing the same thing. You got Corsair Gaming's up 3%, a little less than end phase and Etsy. Also doing nice here. Delta, D&B, Chewy, Southwest. Here are your 2-ish%. Let's see how ARCX is doing. We haven't looked at that in a while. ARCX. Space exploration. Palantir down 1.5%. Really stuck under that mid-20s range. Anyway, ARCX down about 0.25%. ARCK, the innovation fund, is up 0.77%. That's interesting. In addition to Tesla being down, ARCX is actually up 0.77. Looks like Tesla's recovering a little bit. Let's listen to this news that just came through.
Expecting a number around 6.9 million job openings. We ended up with 7,367,000. Yes, I will repeat that. 7,367,000. It is the biggest job openings number for JOLTS going all the way back to January of 2019. 2019, when it was 7,478,000. And needless to say, it's the first number over 7 million since February of last year. So no matter how you slice this number, it's solid. And as the revisions come in, I have to make a revision. It's the second number since February to be over 7 million, because last month, 6,917,000 now pops up just shy of 7.
That's great. I mean, this is obviously a huge signal of the recovery is job openings. Job openings is oftentimes looked at as a way to predict what our unemployment rate might become in the future. Notice, though, as they have up on screen there, the 10-year Treasury actually trending down on this. And, you know, we talked about it regularly during the start of the crash in February, during the disaster of a month in March, that at some point, the suits essentially will become more comfortable with rates being a bit higher, and news won't really push rates even higher anymore. Instead, we'll stabilize. Now, I thought the 10-year, in fairness, would stabilize around 2%. Now it seems like we're stabilizing around that 1.7%. Okay, let's take a peek here, because some of y'all are mentioning we've got some things running here. So NEO, yeah, within the last 13 minutes here or so, 15 minutes, a little bit more of a movement here. Very nice. We've got, actually, Tesla's only down about 1/3% now, so that's improving as well. Churchill Capital up about 1.4%. A little bit of a run here. Apple, GM, Amazon, a lot of these guys up. Amazon was sitting at 3,000 for a while. Yeah, if we zoom out on the day chart, which we've got here, really can kind of see Amazon being stuck. I mean, look at Amazon stock. Since July, it's basically done nothing. Yeah, That's an unfortunate one, but that happened. We had a lot of those big gains earlier. Here's that W-shaped recovery. Really hoping that Tesla turns green today so we can maintain that W-shaped recovery. This is a NEO. I guess we also drew a W over here on NEO. So hoping for that W-shaped recovery at NEO as well. Let's go to Tesla. There we go. There's our W. So we'll see how this continues. We're now only down 0.4%, right along with Canoe also down 0.46%. Canoe, I still think, and I'm finishing their earnings call and their transcript, still think that's a company that it's a little oversold for what we've got right now, but we'll see. So Express and Face. Okay, so this is pretty stable. HelloFresh, SOS. Sundial. Okay, what's happening here? Sundial and Microvision. Microvision on the minute chart. Zoom out a bit here. Looks like Microvision all of a sudden is selling off a little bit more. We had a larger sell-off here about 12 minutes ago on Microvision. Larger sell orders. Could be people swing trading out after the temporary boost that we saw there with the Microsoft news. Then we've got... let's see here. Sundial 5.6% as well. Yeah, a little bit of pain over here at these guys. All right, let's go to top news again. See what else is going on. Top news, pretty relaxed, I'd say, and on the news front. We're getting sort of a trickle of good news over and over again. Credit Suisse may let fund clients take hit. Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is sailed by investors. Discount grows. Let's see. That would be interesting. We could look at that. Grayscale Bitcoin Trust discount. So this used to sell for a premium, which meant if you wanted to get, let's see, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Let me try premium. If you wanted to get Bitcoin in a fund, the only way to do it was the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And now I can't get it. Let me see. GBTC premium. Let's try that. And lately it's been trading at a discount. Yeah, here we go. So take a look at this. Consistently, over the pandemic here, you've been buying the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust at a premium of anywhere between 7 to as high as 40%. But recently, you've actually been buying Bitcoin at a discount of about 3 to 7% at the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. It's a little bit of an underperformance there. All right, let's hop on over. Just less institutional money maybe going into Bitcoin at the moment than we had previously. All right, let's listen into some of these other shows. What do we got here? Okay, they're talking about crowds gathering. Okay, what about CNBC?
The IMF, meantime, releasing its latest World Economic Outlook this morning, projecting a stronger global recovery than its previous forecast, with world output growing by 6% this year. But the group is predicting a divergence in growth rates due to the pandemic. The U.S. is expected to grow by 6.4%, the Euro area by 4.4%, and China by 8.4%. Let's bring in our own Sarah Eisen, along with IMF Chief Economist Geeta Gopinath. Sarah, take it away.
Morgan, thank you so much. And good morning, Geeta. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Sarah. It's a pleasure as always.
6% growth, not too shabby. I don't think we've seen a rate like that for the global economy since at least the early 80s. What's driving the better forecast? 0.5% better than where you were just in January.
So a big chunk of that, Sarah, is a consequence of the U.S. 1.9 trillion stimulus that was deployed.
It's all the money printing. Just say it. All the money printing across the world is encouraging is encouraging higher growth rates and GDP growth. So gosh, yeah. By the way, if you have not yet seen, I'm just looking at some commentary here. If you have not yet seen the news about the housing bailout that the Biden administration is proposing, check that out. Meet Kevin housing bailout. Watch it. I mean, we're talking like 40-year loan extensions, no foreclosures for an extended period of time. It's real estate's going to be interesting. Actually, Lauren and I were talking about how we kind of worry that even like our area could turn into like a San Francisco-esque style pricing, where all of a sudden, $600,000 or like a little 3 and 2 that is already selling for a crazy high amount, in our opinion, $700,000 could end up being like San Francisco Bay Area pricing in the future, where it's like, oh yeah, you got a little 1,300 square foot 3-bedroom 2-bath from the 1950s, and it's $1.1 million, and it's not even in like a special area or anything like that. It's kind of bizarre just how low inventory is right now and how little really the government is really even allowing any kind of negative fallout. Everything is protected. Evictions, foreclosures, more forbearance on top of more forbearance. I mean, in one sense, it's very good. It means people aren't losing their homes. But in another sense, it just means less inventory, which means prices go up. It's crazy. That's crazy. But, okay, so we did have, what just turned red here? I feel like a couple things just turned red. I had my finger on it, but I lost it. Bitcoin's actually down a little bit. Bitcoin just can't get over the 60K and stay over 60K right now. MP Materials 1.1%. Palantir actually just declined a little bit more. Palantir now down 2.5%. Kind of weird, this teeter-tottering that we're getting at Palantir. San Jose booming right now. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. House price inflation likely to rocket. Hard on renters. Hard on renters for sure. Harder to become an owner. Tesla. Somebody says Tesla just went green. Yeah, it did. Look at that. Solid run here over the last 15 minutes, and Tesla has turned green. Let's see if we can listen in for a moment to the Bloomberg news.
Not a lot of activity owning that upside call optionality. So we do think the price for upside is more attractive in Germany than it is in other places.
Oh, that's a really interesting point. Hey, Zach, round this out for me. Stuart mentioned this in terms of the U.S. just growing much faster out of this. How long do you think that the U.S. dollar advantage, vaccine advantage, and growth advantage is going to last? And that will then obviously affect how you see value elsewhere.
Yeah, we think that the dollar is going to remain strong, at least for the next couple weeks, the next couple months. And I think the biggest driver right now is higher yields in the U.S. And while you have seen higher yields in other sovereigns, other central banks have taken a much different approach to how they look at higher yields. And in the U.S., the Fed has said, we are okay with this. We don't see a material tightening of financial conditions broadly, and we will allow yields to rise without shifting our asset purchase policy. Whereas in the Eurozone and places like Australia, you've seen a much different approach. Those central banks have pushed back on yields. So we think that some of those factors drive the dollar higher in the near term, as the Fed is clearly more tolerant of higher yields than some of these other global central banks.
That's a good point. That's a good comparison to the rest of the world. That's maybe not going to potentially recover as quickly as the U.S., where yields are being pressured down on purpose. Although you have some areas where central banks are wanting yields to go up sooner. So you get a little bit of everything in the world. This is an interesting comment here. At this point, leverage up as much as possible on assets. Don't worry about payments. The government will bail you out. Yikes. Yikes. I know you're being facetious, but yeah, I mean, then again, Tesla's red again. Like right when I say it, it turns red. Classic. Then again, it kind of we've seen a lot of that. Oh, look, Voyager Digital all of a sudden, after the numbers came out, started kind of selling down a little bit here. Still incredible growth over at Voyager Digital. When that Coinbase IPO happens on the 14th, which is in 8 days, would not be shocked to see Voyager Digital have some nice movements. That'll certainly be a catalyst, at least. No guarantees, of course. So, yeah, Palantir now down 2.1% instead of that 2.5% that we've seen. Let's see. All right, all stocks here. How are Reds doing? SOS, Microvision accelerating its losses, with Sundial also down about 4.8%. Somebody asked earlier if Sundial is a good company to invest in. I think Sundial itself has really great potential. The problem is things get very distorted when certain stocks get caught up in momentum trades, because it doesn't matter if you think it's a good stock. It doesn't matter if you think the fundamentals are low. If if the market thinks the momentum's going in one direction, that's what the market wants. That's what the market gets. The market can be real funny. Enphase is still running good. It's still curious as to why it sold off as much as it did yesterday. No real news there. ChargePoint up 3.3% now. Charger is actually coming back. Okay, so we actually got some things going from those deeper red figures that we've seen out to positive. NIO's positive, almost over 40%. Target 206. Wow. Yeah, I just remember from a year ago how inexpensive Target had gotten. Apple, DoorDash, AMC, Amazon, all about that 0.5%. Matterport, $13. It's crazy. Relative to some of the highs we saw in February, it's neat seeing how inexpensive some things are. Yeah, Tilray, Voyager. Yeah, Voyager Digital down. Hey, if Voyager Digital falls a good chunk, I'll add more before that Coinbase IPO. That'd actually be the blessing. The blessing would be Voyager Digital comes down a chunk up to right before the Coinbase IPO. Let's you buy, and then it explodes as Coinbase IPOs, and as a lot of us expect, explodes as well. All right, let's see what CNBC is saying here.
Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube pages. Plug there for that. Carl, back over to you.
All right, Sarah, thanks so much. Still to come this morning, a closer look at airline stocks taking off as the industry ramps up its hiring.
Plus, just what could...
True, led by specifically even Southwest yesterday, bringing over 200 pilots back on board. Really bullish sign. Let's skip away from the New York City tax hike, and instead, let's go to Fox Biz, see what they're... Okay. All right, TV commercial, all right. Okay, makes it a little harder. I don't think we've been able to see Varnes once this morning. It's all right. We always got Bloomberg.
Predicting that the U.S. will see extraordinary growth that will boost world growth, as you can see here, to the highest ever in the World Economic Outlook. But then look what happens. It drops off rapidly, and that's a function of a lot of other countries not having the fiscal support and the vaccine support. And so the IMF says what we're facing here is a big divergence between the advanced nations and the developing nations. Advanced nations will see their per capita incomes fall by 10% from 2020 to 2022, but 20% for those in the emerging and developing markets, a much bigger problem. Plus, we've seen 95 million people fall below the poverty line in recent years, and 80% are now more malnourished. That's an issue. So what are they talking about doing? They're talking about a $650 billion allocation of what they call special drawing rights. It's sort of a reserve currency. Think of it as sort of like a cash advance credit card. Countries can turn in that, can sell their SDRs to one of five nations' currencies, the dollar, euro, yen, British pound, or Chinese yuan, and then use that money. And so right now, this is the dollar SDR exchange rate. You can see it's come down a little bit. One of the problems that these emerging markets face is if the dollar gets too strong. So that's better news that it's come down some. This is going to be discussed in June at the IMF board, and they hope maybe by the end of the summer, some of this aid will start to flow and help countries that are not advanced economies fill in the gaps.
Although not a slam dunk by any stretch of the imagination either. Mike, thanks a lot. Bloomberg's Michael McKee joining us now. Geeta Gopinath, IMF chief economist. Geeta, let's just pick up where Mike just left off in terms of the SDR. So IMF is looking at $650 billion in issuance in SDR. That's peanuts compared to, say, what the U.S. is doing. What's on the table for doing even more? What's enough?
Well, I mean, firstly, I think $650 billion would be very good. We haven't had.
She was literally just on CNBC. It's funny how now we've kind of like followed her to Bloomberg News. All right, let's jump here. Let's see. All right, let's go back. Somebody mentioned that Palantir was moving. I saw that comment. Voyager Digital now down 5%. Hey, good. You know, if we can get more of a sell-off, it'd be a buying opportunity. Right now, by the way, I'm at, as of yesterday, I guess I should say, it was like 26.7% margin, which is almost at my 20% target. Tesla's pretty flat today. What was let's see, Palantir? Nope, Plantron's Palantir. Here we go. Palantir 1.96. Yeah, it's recovering a little bit, but yeah, still a little small there. All right, let's see. Yeah, these things are all pretty stable here. Lemonade's up a little bit. Yeah, Lemonade flattening though, 3.3%. Etsy 3.3%. Whoa! Did Zom just go positive? Oh my goodness, it did. Look at this. Whoa! This went from negative, like 6 or 7. No, I mean it was almost down 10% to positive. Hold on, no, this is Nordic. Here, Zom. There we go, Zom. But yeah, this was negative on the day to now rallying. How cool is that? I mean, what a bizarro market. I feel like I've been saying that for a while, but it is weird. You know, why certain things sell off the way they do and why certain things run. It is so unpredictable. It's one of the reasons I have not been trading. Mostly one of the big things is I've just been spending my money on buying longs because the prices have been so much relatively cheaper. Which, remember, every time I buy or sell, I post an alert in the Stocks and Psychology of Money group. So if you're part of that, you get an alert. If you're not, check out the link down below for that. Posted 13 or 14 new lectures yesterday. Even more coming out this weekend is my expectation. Right now we're covering options, so it's super fun. You get lifetime access to all that content. But some really fun lectures yesterday on options. So, okay, what else is going on here? Fisker's down 1%. Yeah, not crazy movement here. What are they saying here? No evidence the Biden corporate tax hike will hurt the economy.
Across this country, like it's hard to imagine. We are going to pay a price for this one of these days. It'll be inflation, devaluation of the dollar. We won't be competitive internationally. It just is nonsense. And I don't understand why people of good common sense don't stand up and call these guys out on this. These politicians are destroying this country.
Caution, Ed Renzi, about how you describe the President of the United States. Just bear that in mind, please, Ed, and just stay there for a second. I'm going to digress to another subject, which I want your comment on in a minute. Drive-thrus. Big pandemic winner, we know that. Drivers looking for contactless access to restaurants. Well, Lydia Hu is with us, and she is at a diner in Clinton, New Jersey. Lydia, a diner with a drive-thru? That is new to me.
What?
And new to me, and it's such a great thing because you know what, Stuart? I hear eggs over easy is your favorite dish, so that's what we ordered for you here. I hope that's okay. But Clinton Station Diner, you place your order here, you pull up a little bit, pay at this pay station where Miss Ellie is today manning the cash register. You can
I don't know. That is interesting. They created that almost looks like a tough shed. They created their own drive-through at a diner. I don't know. This isn't exactly super stocks related, but they caught my attention with it. All right, let's go back over here. They're talking about the New York City tax hike. I mean, we got to focus on the global economy, at least the United States. So, all right, let's give them a brief lesson. Let's just see what Geeta's saying.
I think, we could see countries that have very high levels of vulnerability, high foreign currency borrowing, high dollar borrowing, that there are risks to them. But again, it's not like we are seeing any kind of a systemic debt crisis.
Geeta, there are obvious opponents to the SDRs, and part of it is that money will be funneled in to pay off non-Paris club members like China. How do you prevent that from happening if that's the route we're going to go in terms of helping emerging markets?
I think this SDR allocation is absolutely essential, like I said, to provide the liquidity protection that is needed in these very uncertain times. We're still not out of the woods, and this is essential. So, in making this new SDR allocation happen, of course, we've also mentioned that we will look into the transparency aspects of it, make sure that it's well used, all aspects.
Right,
but
let's go jump out. Let's take a peek here at top news. So let's see what we've got in terms of top news. Let's go to top. Been quiet. have to say, the last week in terms of news, not like huge. The Archego disaster, that was a good one. But otherwise, yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Millennials chat finance like they're on social media, Bank of America says. What is that? Millennials share a lot about their finances on social media, and it turns out they're just as open about talking about money in real life. That's one takeaway from Bank of America's survey of affluent Americans, which found that 85% of millennials were comfortable talking to their friends and family about changing life plans because of financial concerns, compared to with 75% of all. Even salaries, which are seen as highly private, were up for discussion among 77% of people polled. I mean, I think the more transparency, the better, personally. I mean, then again, I'm millennial as well, but yeah. Okay. All right, we saw this. Okay. All right, and then we got opinion pieces. Yeah, not an incredible amount of news. JP Morgan. Nope. All right, take a peek at the 10-year here. Jeez, it's just slowly deflating. 1.67%, which, you know what's crazy about the yields going down again is if the 10-year and some of the other bond yields go down again, then that's going to push interest rates on real estate down again, which just reiterates this madness we're seeing in real estate, competitiveness and pricing. It's crazy. Pinterest over 82 now. Nice. End phase 158. See, do we have any deals anywhere? Peloton's up 2%. I think Peloton still has some recovery in it, even though it's not exactly a recovery stock. I think there's a good recovery still coming for Peloton. Yeah, Voyager Digital. We'll see how it goes with Coinbase coming up. It's going to be the big next catalyst. Down 2% here on Bitcoin. 57.5 on Bitcoin. Rocket is under that usual 23. Shift tax bounces around 8.5 all day long. No surprise there. Tesla's flat, trying to go green here. The Dow went positive, barely, and so did the S&P. So things that started negative, slowly turning green. Purple, Amazon, Apple, these guys 1/3 to 0.5%. Pretty generic here. Pretty generic day. I'd say nothing to jump up and down about. A little just chill, but teeter-totterish on the scale of day to day teeter-tottering. All right, let's listen in here.
Pull that off. We'll be following closely.
Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. We're going to post like crazy.
All right, good. I'll be watching closely. Michelle Caruso-Cabrera, thank you.
I feel like there's a no sleep till Brooklyn joke to be had here, but that's so great to see on CC. It is now time for our ETF Spotlight, taking a look at the First Trust Dow Jones Internet Index Fund, ticker FDN, up nearly 80% over the last year of trading, getting big boosts from its top holdings, Amazon, Facebook, and PayPal. But watch Snap with Atlantic Equities upgrading the company from neutral to overweight. The stock.
All right, I'm going to pull back off CNBC here. So I just saw somebody mention, is it just me or is Bitcoin trading the opposite of the market? You know what I encourage you all to do is, if you haven't seen this video yet, it's worth it. So let me see here. I mean, then again, maybe I'm biased and I just think all my videos are worth it. But take a look at this one. Kathy Wood loves this about Bitcoin, special trick. This has to do with what was just commented about potentially Bitcoin trading opposite the market. Take a look at this. Very interesting. Kathy Wood, what she mentioned about Bitcoin, certain characteristic. Give that video a watch. Otherwise, I have to say, I think we're at a spot where, I mean, here Romeo's up 22%. This is great after the big sell-off. But otherwise, things are pretty stable. Voyager down 7%. I'm sorry. Discovery is down 7.51%. IDX, down a couple percent here. No big moves here. But yeah, again, other than Romeo, they're recovering. But yeah, I you know what? And Faraday Solutions, Oh, Roku's now. Oh, Roku, look at that buy order that just came in at Roku. There we go. A little bit of entertainment. But yeah, I was going to say, I think the best thing to do now is just kind of keep an eye on this teeter-totter market, wait for some opportunities to buy. And I will be back for the private course member live stream in 90 minutes. So if you're a course member, I'll see you in 90 minutes. We'll get to do our Q&A, see what we get to do a high conviction analysis on today for stocks. And folks, thanks for being here. We'll see you in the next one.